This game has been able to keep me hooked like no other Deception game has done before, and I hope to give some idea about how great and addicting it can be. But warning, this game will affect how much you can actually trust your friends. Dread Hunger is an early access title on Steam that is able to take the best elements of popular survival and deception games to create a unique game loop that is, in my opinion, unrivaled by other deception games. In Dread Hunger, there is a crew of 8 people working together to collect resources to get their ship to the other side of the map in 4 days before Blizzard hits and everyone dies. Not only that, but you have your own food and warmth meter to be mindful about so you don't end up dead. Each player is a different character with separate starting items and a stat that can be leveled up by playing the same character to level 30. Shout out to Navigator, he's the best. I love you, Navigator. I wish nothing but the best out of you. Love you, Navigator. And as of writing the script, there's soon to be customization for said characters. Now, since this is a deception game, there are 2 people against the crew called Thralls that are trying to stop the game. Now, since this is a deception game, there are 2 people against the crew called Thralls that are trying to stop the crew from succeeding. At the beginning of the match, there is a game of 5-card draw that acts as the pre-game lobby that lets people load in before the match begins. It also decides who gets the key for the captain's chest that can hold valuable loot. Once a card game is over, there is then a mad dash around the ship for people to loot all the containers that have random items that spawn in them. This is then usually followed by people delivering their coal that they all spawned with to the boiler in the back of the ship. And you might get this person that might turn their coal into gunpowder. But now would probably be the time to explain how important coal is. Coal is what will be getting your ship to the other side of the map. Sure, you can use wood or other items that are crafted with wood, but all of it is overshadowed by coal. Coal is one of the few items that can't be stacked in your inventory, which means gathering it is slower than other things like food or wood. After coal has been put in the boiler, it is fired up and someone steers the ship towards the map so the game can truly begin. Hopefully, the Thrall isn't moving the ship and slowly moving it backwards or not fully gassing it, because that sucks, and usually that person's kind of BM, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay, I'm just ranting. Thralls may try to sabotage at this point, but people have gotten pretty smart in the beginning of the game and are able to control who is putting in coal and who hasn't put in their coal yet, so it's pretty hard for a Thrall to actually sabotage without completely adding themselves in the beginning of the game. There are 2 maps in the game, the Summit and the Approach. I will mostly be referring to the former and is what you'll be seeing the most in the footage because it's a better detailed map with more points of interest as compared to the Approach. There are 2 ways to go on the Summit, the right of the ship or the left. They each have their pros and cons to them and everyone has a preferred side. For me, it's the right. So now it's time to decide, what do you want to do for your first day? Do you want to get food from hunting animals close by? Or gather resources to make better weapons, or even get lucky and be able to build a gun? Or be able to build a satchel from hunting wolves and searching bodies? Or even deny the Thralls bone clubs and bone daggers by searching bodies and throwing the bones into the water. You can even gather herbs to make poison or antidote to help out your fellow crew members in case someone decides to poison the next meal. Or you can just play it safe, gather a bunch of coal, and head back to the ship before nightfall. When night falls, it's generally too cold to be able to move freely around the map, so crew members are usually gathered on the ship or in tents that have a stove or a fireplace. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, please like, subscribe, and share the video. All support is super appreciated and it's free and it helps me out a lot. Thank you. I also stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes Saturday. For the past few weeks, I've been playing Dread Hunger and it's been super great and hope to see you guys there. Link to my Twitch is in the description of this video. I think now it's time to talk about the nefarious ones of the group, the Thralls. So it's up to the Thralls to blend in with the crew while halting progress for them. Whether that is taking coal from sleds and crates and dumping it in the water, denying it from the crew, or turning it into gunpowder. Making poisons and putting it in the next stew being made on the ship, causing mass panic. Or collecting bone daggers to use your dark magic powers. Or collect bone clubs to make totems that amplify your Thrall powers, making them even more deadly for the helpless crew. Now you may be thinking you can use your time to just kill people one by one while they're alone with you. Well, my mischievous Thrall, when someone dies for the first time, they will respawn on the ship in the brig, and the ship's horn is blown so that everyone knows someone died. and they will say that you killed them and that you will be outed as a thrall within seconds. This is where the thrall powers come to play. A pretty unique feature that, as a thrall, you can use bone daggers to do blood rituals that allow you to do 3 things: summon cannibals, call a whiteout, or spirit walk. When you summon cannibals, you send evil cannibal creatures on an unsuspecting victim and anyone else that is unfortunate enough to be close by to the victim. Trust me, when you hear the scream from the cannibals and you're alone, you immediately start to panic and you're straight either running for a ship or someone else that you can see nearby that can help you, because you most likely will die by them if you are unequipped.
What does that sound?
With a whiteout, you summon a blinding fog that reduces visibility and chills the air. A good use for this is when the crew is trying to move the ship. The reduced visibility will most likely lead to the ship crashing into an iceberg, which will cause leaks to spring on the ship that will need to be repaired. A good combo I can recommend is having a thrall move the ship while another calls a whiteout, so the thrall moving the ship has a good reason to crash into multiple things. And last is Spirit Walk. You take on a spectral form that moves very fast and is invisible to the naked eye. Though you cannot attack or interact with objects besides ladders, it is very useful for traveling the map quickly. Let's say you want to put down totems, but you have been in the same area all game. You can go to a location you haven't been seen at before and place down your totems without gaining suspicion from the others. These powers are useful, but be careful when using your bone dagger, as it will play an animation and sound so any nearby may hear or see you doing it. But that's not all. Thralls also get 2 powers that do not use bone charms. The first is Thrall Vision. This lets them see every player on the map and nearby animals, such as bunnies, seals, wolves, and the polar bear, and even summon cannibals during an attack. The second ability, though it uses a bone charm, you do not need one in your inventory prior for it to work. When you die for the first time as a thrall, you end up in the brig just like any other crew member. But for you, you have a bone dagger in your right hand that, after a short timer, you can use to get out of the cell yourself, and you spirit walk for a few seconds. Though other people can hear it if they're nearby, this gives a thrall an opportunity to make it out of the brig and continue to play the game, even if they're found out to be the thrall. Now then, on to the totems. The totems you can create with 1 bone club and 3 wood make all of these powers stronger by summoning more cannibals per attack, having a longer whiteout, and a longer duration for spirit walk. With these tools available, you can use them to hunt down your fellow crew members one by one. Once someone has lost their life for the first time, then you can take more direct measures, like poisoning them or shooting them in the back when no one is around. You can do this because once someone dies a second time, the ship does not blow a horn, and thus the other crew members have no idea that that person just died. The only way that they will figure that out is by finding their body. This is how the game plays out until the end of the map, where a gigantic iceberg is blocking the ship's exit. It is up to the crew to make an expedition out into the cold Arctic to collect a box of nitroglycerin that is used to blow up the obstruction. Then, and only then, can the ship pass and reach open waters. And usually, if the thralls have not been found out at this point, it becomes the most stressful, as you do not know who exactly you can trust when you're carrying this box of nitro. Because once you're carrying it, you cannot run very far and you cannot hold anything else. You have to drop it first before you can use anything else. So generally, this is the most stressful part of the game. So that's the general feel of the game. There are tons of different strategies that can be used for both sides of play that I haven't gone into, but then this video would be much longer than I would like. One of the best things about this game, in my opinion, is the fact that the game does not end if both of the thralls are dead. So the crew can never be fully sure on who the thrall is until the game is over. There's always the off chance that they were wrong and will have to deal with the consequences later in the game. For me, Dread Hunger solves an issue I have with deception video games. Usually there isn't too much to do in said game, so it's a lot of standing around waiting for things to happen. Like in Trouble in Terrorist Town from Gmod, unless you're a trader, you generally just sit around waiting for the traders to do something so then you can act on it. Games have gotten better at this, like in Among Us or Project Winter, but I think that Dread Hunger has been able to execute it the best. Dread Hunger has been able to successfully add the element of the world being a constant, unrelenting obstacle, making every game a stressful joy to play. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making it. I cannot recommend this game enough. And if you already own it, then comment down below why you like it so much. I'm curious to know. And don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe. I'll see you guys later, and stay warm. This is awful.
I'm dying.
Holy shit, dude.